What's going on, everybody? It's Falcons Friday. It's Falcons Daily, and I'm your host, CG. And we broke down the offense, we broke down the defense over the bye week here, the first quarter of the season, I guess you could say. Typically, you'd have, before we switched to 17 games, it was 16, of course. You could split the season into four quarters. We're going to try to do that now since the bye week came so early. We'll do that here. So, again, this is we're just reviewing the first quarter of the season for the Falcons. Including just the first four games and where they stand, getting ready to come off the bye against the Buffalo Bills, not this Monday, but next Monday night on the 13th of September. So we're going to look first at Zach Robinson and talk about his performance and the team's performance first part of this season here. When we're looking at the total offense for the Falcons, we're going to give a look at that right now. Falcons currently sitting at seventh in the NFL in total offense. They're averaging over 360 yards a game. They're only about 40 yards shy of first, which belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. Falcons right now 226.3 yards in the air, which is still good enough for top 10 in the NFL right now. They're currently listed at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're ninth in passing, and in terms of rushing, 136 and a half yards a game on the ground. That is good enough for sixth in the NFL. Make that seventh. Hard to say anything about Zach Robinson's offense, really. I know everybody was pissed off about what happened in Charlotte. We've definitely left some things out there on the field. So for me, a second-year offensive coordinator, with a second year, essentially rookie quarterback, having not even played a half of a season right now, I'm going to give Zach Robinson a B. I think Zach Robinson deserves a B, and I think he's done pretty good. We'll call it a B minus. There's been some things left out there on the field, but I think largely he's done a pretty good job, and he had a really good bounce back against. It feels like the first game against Tampa Bay to the game against Minnesota, there was a bounce back period. Offense and the team played a whole lot better. Had a big letdown in Charlotte. Then the very next week against Washington, boom, right back again. So we'll call it a B minus for Z-Rob. I think he's done a fairly solid job so far this year. Next, Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. This one, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to give him an A minus right now. The only reason I go A minus is because outside of just a regular old A is because of what happened against Tampa Bay in the first game, giving up that go-ahead touchdown. Right now, Jeff Ulbrich's defense, second in the NFL in total defense, giving up only 244 yards per game. 135 of that the Falcons give up in the air, which is still good for second in the NFL, right behind their upcoming opponent, the Buffalo Bills. And then in terms of rushing, the Falcons give up 109 yards a game, which is right around about 16th, 17th in the league. They're right at the middle of the pack in terms of rushing yards. And then in terms of our scoring defense, we're giving up 21 and a half points a game right now. That, again, is still right there around 16th in the league. So we need to just kind of step it up a little bit more. I think a team like Buffalo can find ways to win games with 20 or less points because they can get after the passer, they can run the football. They have a quarterback who can extend plays. You saw the Saints gave them a pretty good contest, and the Saints were still 12 points shy of them. But again, Jeff Ulbrich's defense, very good job. More sacks right now in the first four games than we had last year under Jimmy Lake. So again, A minus, Jeff Ulbrich, fantastic job. Marquise Williams, the special teams coordinator, going to give him a C for this one. And it's kind of a hard, and for me, it's hard to say a C because Marquise is a good coach. And I don't know how much, he can't control what happens with the players on the field after they get out there. But again, I'm going to attribute some of the special teams issues to him that I attributed to Raheem Morris. So the kicking situation between Young Wei Koo and Parker Romo, pretty messy. Koo goes 4 for 5. The team lets him walk. or gives him his walking papers. Didn't understand it, but I think it was more of a cap casualty move. Second, you bring Parker Romo in. You put him into a stadium that he's ultimately familiar with, which is U.S. Bank Stadium. He goes 5 for 5. I mean, that was obviously done on purpose to get him comfortable. You put him outdoors the very next week, he craps the bed. And again, I was in Charlotte and I was watching him miss from like 40 and 45 yards out. And no surprise, his very first kick was, I mean, further right than it should be for an NFL kicker. And then also poor kick returns by our kick returners, and then also allowing too many yards by other teams on their returns. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and give Marquise a C right now. And again, it's kind of like a C, I wouldn't even say plus, it's teetering towards the minus. Our special teams has not been very good whatsoever, and we need to step it up. Excuse me. I mean, we brought Jamal Agnew in to ignite the kick return game. I know he's been hurt, but we also haven't seen it from any other real kick returners either. I mean, we've seen, even in the preseason, we saw guys like D'Angelo Malone lighting people up, and right now, it just hasn't translated over to the regular season. So I'm going to go ahead and give Marquise Williams and the special teams unit a C. But it's going to be, like I said, a hard C, teetering close to a C minus. So yesterday we had one comment on our video, came from Jeff Holton, 1225. And Jeff said here, do you think we'll get AJ back for the Bills game? I agree with you. I think the defense is pretty well set when we get him back. I think this game is winnable if our offense is clicking. Hate that we have to wait another week. Yeah, you and me both. But you know what? That gives us an opportunity to sit back and watch what the rest of the NFC South is going to do. So, and speaking of the rest of the NFC South, first of all, I hope we get AJ back. I mean, if he's not back for this game, then to me, I think the Falcons were reluctantly not wanting to put him on IR. That's just my opinion on that. But, looking around at the division this week, you've got the Giants visiting the Saints. I honestly think the Saints are going to win that game. Carolina is hosting the Miami Dolphins, and that's a 1 o'clock kick on Fox. I'll take the Dolphins. And Tampa Bay on the road at Seattle, 4:05. Until I see otherwise, I'll take Tampa Bay to win. So, of course, we're rooting against Tampa because should they lose and the Falcons win, we'll be tied atop the division with them. But that's provided we get a win against Buffalo, of course. Of course, New Orleans, you always want to see them lose. And Carolina, let's see if they can continue that downward spiral that started last week. But I think AJ should be back for this game coming up. I mean, the telltale factor would be what happens on Monday when the players get out there and start warming up, stretching and all that. If AJ's out there, then he's trending up. If you don't see him out there for practice, I would even say by Thursday, then I'd be concerned whether or not he's going to play. So, I think the Buffalo game is somewhat of a winnable game, even though, I mean, they are undefeated. So let's not forget about that aspect of it. Buffalo, any given Sunday, of course, and I firmly believe in that. But, when you look at Buffalo, again, 4-0, they right now have a plus minus on points of plus 43 right now. They've scored 133 points in the season. That right now is tops and actually second in the NFL in terms of points scored. They are right behind Detroit. So again, we're looking at a team, putting up points and points and points and points. So easily over 30 points a game right now. So we're going to have to most likely win a shootout or going to play some hellified defense. All right, everybody, let's continue to sign off in the comments like Jeff Holton 1225 did. We are going to call it good for the week here, and we'll be back next week with some more Falcons Daily for you. Give me a follow on social media if you like. I'm at Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G in the word sports, and FanArch up in the top left corner up here. They're at FanArch Co, FANARCHCO. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll be back to break down the Falcons and Buffalo Bills starting next week. Sayonara and buenos noches.